Chapter 11. The Morning of the Wedding.
"Breakfast and beer,"
commented Everett dryly as he leaned back in one of the two armchairs the room had.
"Only the best before a wedding. Hey, we need to do something before we get summoned for the ceremony,"
noted Jake as he checked in the mirror to see if his bow tie was straight.
"I hate these things." "At least I get a tie."
Everett pulled at the fabric, loosening it a little.
"Still looking forward to the event?" "Absolutely."
Jake grinned.
"Sterling and I are happy Gabe is giving us his spot. We were just about to go to a courthouse and get it done, considering every time we try to get married, something gets in the way." "Better you than me," responded Everett.
The Ramesly men had gathered together after breakfast in Noah's room to spend some time before they were required in the hotel's ballroom for the wedding ceremony. Noah had come up with the idea last night, joking the family could either calm any of the grooms' cold feet or help them flee, depending on the mood of the moment. Plus, it would give everyone something to do without getting in the way of the ladies.
"Getting married is great,"
expounded Max on one of his favorite subjects.
"Doesn't Bree make you think of marriage and kids?" "Slow down."
Everett put up his hands in mock surrender.
"Some of us like to take our time rather than jumping into things so quickly. No offense, Dylan."
"None taken," Dylan easily replied.
"Besides, my impromptu wedding has worked out. Kelly and I are happy."
"Glad to hear that," grinned Max.
"You can't take credit for it. They met on their own,"
warned Marshall lightheartedly.
"He gave good advice," admitted Dylan. "I guess Max gets a little credit." "Ha! See?" gloated Max as he handed out a couple of beers.
Guys?" Noah walked out of the bathroom, holding up a box.
"This was on the counter."
"What is it?" Ben asked as he straightened a couple of knickknacks on the top of the dresser before leaning against it.
"A pregnancy kit?"
Noah looked at the box.
"It's empty." "Should we be saying congratulations?"
Max half joked.
"Not to me."
Noah tossed the empty box to Ben, who dropped it onto the bed like a hot potato.
"Elle and I are not having any more kids."
"Accidents happen," Max pointed out.
"Not with us,"
Noah said confidently.
"I had the snip a couple years back. Nothing to worry about now."
"Then whose is it?" wondered Jake. And more importantly, was it positive or negative?
"Could be any one of the girls," replied Noah. "They were all here last night talking about some sort of wedding crisis. I had to hide at the bar for a while until they finally left."
"Maybe it's Sterling's." Max grinned as he popped the cap off a beer, then handed the bottle to Jake.
"Maybe it's Patchett's," Jake responded dryly. "I would be okay with that," easily said Max. "I've been trying to convince Paget to go for one or two more, but she isn't budging yet."
"Smart woman."
Noah rolled his eyes, like the world needs more mini Maxes running around.
"Maybe it will be a mini Michael," teased Max. Michael, sprawled on the bed, moved his arm from over his eyes to give Max a dirty look, holding up 3 fingers. Noah smirked.
"I think Anne would kill you. I remember Elle being extremely unhappy when she found out she was pregnant again, and the second set of twins were just about walking. She threw a vase at me."
"She threw a vase at you?" A surprised Ben echoed as Everett laughed.
"Why do you think he got fixed?"
Jake noted wryly as he lounged in a chair.
"Most men don't have surgery on their precious parts by choice. Better not laugh, Everett, unless you're certain it's not Bree."
"It's not Bree," Everett said confidently.
"How do you know?"
Jake raised an eyebrow. "Things happen."
"Not if I'm not getting any."
Everett shrugged.
"We're not quite at that stage yet."
"No sex?" Jake was a little surprised by his brother.
"Bree and I are negotiating," Everett responded glibly. "We're still new, and are not ready to find anything much. It seems appropriate that we wait."
"So it's not Elle or Bree," pondered Max. Ben frowned as a thought occurred to him.
"You don't know that anyone is pregnant. You haven't checked the stick. It could be negative."
"True." Max set down his beer and headed for the washroom.
You do know that some woman peed on that stick, right?
Noah snickered from behind him.
I'm not going to touch it,
Max said in disgust as he came out of the washroom with the garbage bin. He grabbed a coffee stir stick and began sifting through the garbage.
There it is. I just need to turn it around to see the results. Grab another coffee stick. Use them like chopsticks,
Everett advised.
He will bungle it,
Noah ribbed Max.
Marshall should do it. He's the surgeon. Barely,
Marshall responded with just a touch of lament.
I only do a couple of morning surgeries a week now. Dad has me buried in paperwork and management duties for years. Besides, I'm resigning.
You're what? Questioned a surprised Henry.
Resigning, repeated Marshall lightly. I have one more week of privileges at Mercy. Not that I plan on using them, as I'll be on a honeymoon.
Why would you resign? Questioned Jake. You love your job.
I do, agreed Marshall. However, we'll be living in her home country.
You're moving? A stunned Noah stated.
I thought the whole point of the marriages were to gain your inheritance. Does resigning and moving negate that? I'm not marrying her for my inheritance, clarified Marshall. We're getting married because we want to. So, since I'll no longer be a doctor, I think this is a job for Max, since he's already fishing around in the garbage for the test.
Thanks, muttered Max as he tried to get the stick to turn without getting it lost in the rest of the trash in the small garbage bin.
Appreciate the support. Hey, it's not my girl.
Marshall smiled happily as he loosened his tie.
That is all I need to know.
Just who is your girl? Ben asked curiously as everyone's head swiveled to watch Marshall, interested in what he might say next about his intended. He shrugged easily.
You will all meet her at the wedding. She's a figment of his imagination,
Parker drawled. He and Gabe weren't surprised by the news, as Marshall had already discussed it with them. While Parker had tried to talk Marshall out of the idea of giving up his position and inheritance, Marshall had not budged.
How many hotels has your bride caught you renting?
Marshall glibly shot back at Parker.
She and all her cousins and cousins' cousins?
Parker shuddered.
I don't even want to think about it. I never realized I was marrying her entire family when I started this gig. Take my advice. No mail-order bride services. Those matchmakers have no clue about what they're doing. It's positive. Someone is having a baby,
announced Max, holding the pregnancy test aloft with his coffee sticks. All the men paused, looking at each other and wondering exactly who was about to be a father.
I bet we could figure out who it is,
mused Max, tossing the test and sticks into the trash can.
No one knows who was in the room last night. We can narrow down the list of possibilities from there. Do you not listen?
Noah leaned against a wall, folding his arms over his chest.
I said I saw the room was full of ladies, and I retreated to the bar.
Smart move. Parker toasted Noah with his beer.
Thank you,
Noah acknowledged with a nod.
Surely you saw some of them,
Max cajoled him.
We can figure this out.
Ben sighed.
You know what Max is like when there's a mystery to solve. They are my favorite, grinned Max.
Fine. Noah rolled his eyes.
Paget, Elle, Kelly. Kelly doesn't really count, remarked Everett wryly. Everyone knows she is pregnant. When is she going to pop again?
Technically, she's overdue, sighed Dylan as he sipped a beer.
Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to stop her from doing anything she wants to. She will be fine. Kelly's a nurse. She knows what she's doing,
Max said without concern.
Who is that girl who came with you, Ben?
Her name is Kitty, answered Ben.
Kitty?
Noah sighed, trying to think.
Sterling, Bree, Olga. Her name isn't Olga,
piped up Parker, annoyed at the nickname the guys kept giving his wife to be.
It's Adriana. Whatever,
continued Noah, ticking them off his fingers.
Addison might have been there.
Not Addison, Ben inserted into the conversation.
Why not?
questioned Parker.
She's just not, shrugged Ben. If she were seeing someone, she would let me know.
Henry shook his head.
Addison wouldn't tell any of us if she was involved with anyone. She would be worried we would all be interrogating the poor guy. Addison is married to the job, just as she should be,
inserted a bored Garrett as he scrolled through emails on his phone, only half listening to the conversation.
So, basically, all the girls were here,
concluded Max.
Oh, and Anne.
Noah nodded with certainty and a touch of malice.
Anne was here. I'm not sure who else might have been in the room. I think Michael is about to throw up,
Marshall murmured with an eye on his cousin.
3 kids nearly a year old will do that to you.
Noah agreed readily as Michael ran a hand over his face, then shook his head negative.
You don't think Anne is pregnant?
Michael shook his head again.
Absolutely certain?
Noah needled a little, amused to see his older brother out of sorts. Michael ignored him.
What? You should be a dad again. Experience the joy of another little screamer. 1 7-year-old and triplet toddlers really are not enough. You could have 1 more,
Noah teased with glee.
Or maybe another set of multiples.
Michael abruptly got up, leaving the room.
That is a worried man,
Marshall mentioned wryly as he tipped a beer to his lips.
Then Anne is our front runner,
nodded Max.
I'm still putting money on Paget, said Jake. How much money?
Max raised an eyebrow.
Anyone in? 1,000 on Jake's girlfriend.
Garrett pulled out his wallet.
1,000? That is chump change you are about to lose, sucker,
Jake told his cousin.
What about Bethany Searson?
asked Ben suddenly.
What about her?
Noah returned.
Was she with them last night? She and Drew are engaged,
shrugged Ben.
Maybe it's her. Bethany is now on the list.
Max grabbed a pen and a napkin, writing down names and bets.
No, she isn't,
interrupted Jake.
She and Drew are waiting. How do you know that?
asked Noah.
Sterling and Bethany talk.
Jake took a swig of his beer.
I overhear things I really don't care to know. Maybe it's Ben's girlfriend,
teased Marshall.
Kitty isn't my girlfriend,
muttered Ben, looking a little green at the idea of a pregnant Kitty.
She is a friend. There's a difference. I'm putting money on Anne, Noah interjected. The way Michael left, he's concerned it might be her. Wait.
Everett put up his hands as an idea came to him.
Your bad boy half-brother has a girl. What's the shrink's name again? Holly, nodded Max. She should go on the list.
Oh boy, muttered Ben to himself. It had better not be Kitty.
This is going to be great, grinned Max. Place your bets, gentlemen.
Be quick about it, noted Everett as a timer went off on his watch.
All those not a groom are due in the ballroom within 5 minutes. Have fun.
Dylan put his beer down.
I'm going to help wrangle some of my kids and Kelly to the ballroom. I had better get going too, sighed Noah. Elle will appreciate the help.
Within moments, Max was putting a list of names and numbers in his inner suit pocket as the guys exited the room. Thank you for listening to this chapter of The Wedding, Book 10 of the Ramesly Brothers series. Did you know that I have a weekly newsletter? In it, I talk about my upcoming books, my current projects, book promotions, and some featured books from my author friends. If you'd like to sign up for my newsletter, go to my website at josephinebeintema.com. Happy listening!